You guys remember our deep dives into BIM and loads?
Oh, yeah, those were great.
Yeah, we talked about how BIM is changing the game in construction, and those LODs helped us figure out just how detailed those digital models really are. But get this, today we're taking a deep dive into BIM dimensions.
That's right. We're going way beyond 3D models and loaded views.
Hey, deep divers, welcome back. So what are we talking about here?
Think of it like this. You know how in those video games you can, level up and you get those cool new skills and abilities?
Yeah.
BIM dimensions are kind of like that for buildings.
Ooh, okay.
Each dimension unlocks a new perspective, a new way of seeing that project, from the very first idea to decades after the building's been built.
Okay, so we're not just talking 3D anymore. We're adding in stuff like time, cost, sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
You got it. And it's not just like adding data just because. It's all about bringing a specific focus to the project lifecycle. Each dimension is kind of like a special lens. It reveals something different about the building.
All right, let's break it down. Where do we even start with these dimensions?
Well, every building starts with an idea, right?
Of course.
That's where 1D BIM comes in.
Okay.
It's all about capturing the project's big picture, the scope, the goals, the outcomes, like mind maps, feasibility studies.
Brainstorming.
Yeah. Those early sessions where you're just throwing ideas around.
So it's more than just daydreaming. There's actual concrete data, even in this early stage.
Absolutely. This is the foundation for everything that comes after. It's where you define that why of the project. What problems are you solving? What does success even look like?
Makes sense. So once we have those big ideas figured out, how do we start making it tangible?
That's where we move into the familiar 2D world. Good old-fashioned drawings, floor plans, elevations, sections, all those blueprints.
Yeah, those classic 2D blueprints, still important, right?
Essential, especially for permits and meeting all those regulations. But of course, BIM doesn't just stop there. It's time to bring in the third dimension, 3D BIM. Now we can really visualize the building.
Now we're talking. This is where we can see it all take shape.
Exactly. But it's more than just pretty pictures. This is where we create a digital model of that building.
Okay.
Accurate geometry, spatial relationships between all the pieces.
Walls, doors, windows.
Yeah. Even the pipes and electrical systems.
So this is like a super detailed digital model, way more than just a simple 3D sketch.
Exactly. And this is where we start to see BIM's real power. It allows for clash detection.
Slash detection.
Yeah, basically a way to make sure different building systems don't, run into each other.
Like making sure a pipe's not going to go straight through a beam.
Exactly. Think of it as a virtual spell check for your building. It catches potential problems before they become real-world headaches.
That sounds like it saves a ton of time and money. Catching those issues before construction even starts.
It is. And remember, collaboration is key here.
Right.
It's not just about individual teams working on their own little piece of the puzzle. BIM dimensions help everyone come together, communicate effectively, and ultimately make smarter decisions as a team.
This podcast is brought to you by the LinkedIn group BIM Australia and New Zealand. Join our public group, BIM Australia and New Zealand, for more discussions and insights into the world of BIM.
Okay, so we've got the concept, the 2D plans, and now this incredible 3D model where we can actually see the building and make sure everything fits. What's next?
Now we add in time. 4D BIM.
Time.
Imagine you could virtually construct that building step by step. You see how that project unfolds over time?
Whoa. Like a time-lapse video, but for a whole building.
Yeah. 4D BIM brings the schedule into the model.
Okay.
It links each activity to a specific time frame. So you can see when the foundation's going in, when that steel structure goes up, the facade, all in sequence.
So this helps with avoiding delays and keeping everyone on track.
Exactly. Project managers love this dimension because it gives them that visual roadmap. They can track progress, find bottlenecks, and adjust the schedule as needed to keep things moving.
So valuable, especially on a complex project. So we've got design, coordination, and now scheduling. What else is there in this BIM Dimensions journey?
Now it's time for 5D BIM. This is where we bring in a really important element, cost.
That's always a big one.
5D BIM lets us link each building component to real-time pricing data.
Oh, wow.
So let's say you're designing a stadium and the client wants to switch from steel to concrete.
Okay.
With 5D BIM, you can see right away how that change affects the budget.
Wait, so you can see the cost of different choices right there in the model.
You got it.
That's amazing.
And that's just one example. 5D BIM helps with accurate quantity takeoffs, cost tracking, procurement. It's a powerful financial lens to view the entire project.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture here. Each dimension adds a new layer of information, making the model more and more useful.
And it's not just about the data itself. It's how you use that data to make better choices, improve collaboration, and build better buildings.
This has been amazing, and I know we've got more to explore, but unfortunately that's all the time we have for this part of our deep dive. Stay tuned, deep divers. We'll be back with more BIM Dimensions adventures in just a bit.
Welcome back, deep divers. Ready for more BIM Dimensions?
Definitely. We just left off talking about 5D BIM and how it helps keep those budgets under control. But there's more, right? A couple more dimensions to go.
That's right. Up next is 6D BIM, and this is where things get really interesting for anyone passionate about sustainability.
Okay, sustainability. How does 6D BIM fit into all of this?
Think of 6D BIM as like a lens, you know?
Okay,
It helps us analyze a building's environmental impact
gotcha.
throughout its entire life.
So its whole life cycle.
Yeah. We're talking energy performance, carbon footprint, water usage,
Wow.
materials, waste management, how the building interacts with the surrounding ecosystem.
So it's not just building a structure, it's about building responsibly.
Exactly. 6D BIM gives architects and engineers the tools they need to design greener buildings.
Makes sense.
Buildings that meet those stricter environmental regulations.
Right.
They can simulate different designs, test out materials, and optimize the building's performance to, minimize that footprint.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you give me a real-world example of how that works?
Sure. Let's say you're designing a high-rise office building
Okay.
in a place that gets a lot of sun. With 6D BIM, you can actually simulate how much sunlight it'll get
Oh, cool.
all year round, and then optimize the windows,
Okay.
their placement, how big they are,
Right.
even try out different shades to reduce all that solar heat gain
Interesting.
and cut down on the AC.
So you're not just designing a building that looks nice, you're designing one that's good for the environment.
Exactly. And it's more than energy. 6D BIM helps us analyze the carbon footprint of materials, too.
Okay.
Like we can compare steel to concrete or timber.
Oh, wow. So you can get pretty specific with this sustainability analysis.
Yeah. And that level of detail is getting more and more important as we, try to create a more sustainable world.
Okay, so we've covered design, construction, scheduling, cost, and now sustainability. So we're done, right? The building's finished.
Not so fast. We can't forget what happens after construction.
Oh, right.
The building has a whole life ahead of it.
Yeah.
Maybe decades of, running and maintenance.
Makes sense.
That's where 7D BIM comes in.
70. Okay.
The facility management dimension.
So this is about making sure it runs smoothly, keeping things efficient for years to come.
You got it. 7D BIM creates a digital twin of that building.
A twin. What do you mean?
It's like a super detailed model, packed with data.
Okay.
Everything the facility management team needs to operate and maintain that building the right way.
So what kind of information are we talking about?
Think of it like the ultimate instruction manual.
Got it.
Maintenance schedules for every piece of equipment. Details about the materials, warranties,
Right.
as-built drawings.
Yeah.
Even real-time data from sensors that monitor energy use, air quality, stuff like that.
Wait a minute. So the building is basically telling you how to take care of it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's really valuable for those facility managers. They can use this data to plan maintenance, troubleshoot problems, and make the building last longer.
This is mind-blowing. We went from, basic sketches to a full-on digital twin.
And remember, it's not just about how much data there is.
Right,
It's
yeah.
about making sure that data is good quality
Okay.
and that people can actually find it.
Right.
BIM dimensions make it easy to get the information you need right when you need it.
That's super important. So we've walked through all 7 BIM dimensions. What an incredible journey. And I'm starting to get how powerful this technology really is.
We'll be right back after a quick break.
Welcome back, deep divers. We're on the last part of our BIM dimensions journey.
Glad you could stick with us. It's been a really cool exploration.
It has. We unpacked every dimension from 1D concept development to 7D facility management. And we saw how architects, engineers, contractors, facility managers, they're all using these dimensions.
Mm.
But what's really fascinating to me is like that collaboration, how those dimensions actually connect everyone working on a project.
Yeah, you
Go ahead.
got it. That's the real magic of these BIM dimensions. Breaking down those silos,
Right.
creating a more integrated, collaborative way of building.
Okay, so it's not just individual teams using these dimensions on their own. It's about everyone working together. But how does that actually work in real life? What are the real benefits?
Well, one big one is that we see way fewer errors and conflicts.
Okay.
Those classic construction horror stories. Pipes going through beams, doorways too small, HVAC systems that just don't fit.
Yeah.
The stuff that leads to rework and delays.
Nightmares.
Exactly. But when everyone's working from that same model, using clash detection to find and fix those problems early on,
Yeah.
those problems just disappear.
Catching them before you even get to the construction site, that's huge.
It is. And it's not just about the errors. Communication gets better, too.
Right.
When everyone can visualize the project, use the same data, there's less room for misunderstandings.
Because everyone's literally looking at the same thing, speaking the same language.
Exactly. It creates a more transparent environment, everyone can contribute, and you work towards that shared goal.
So better coordination, fewer errors, better communication, that's all great.
Yeah.
But what of the big picture? How does this affect the quality of the building itself?
Well, when you put all that together, fewer errors, better communication, being able to simulate and optimize your design,
Yeah.
you just get a higher quality building.
Okay.
It's more thoughtful, construction's more efficient, and it meets the client's needs better.
And I'm guessing this also helps the building last longer, too.
Absolutely. When that facility management team has a good BIM model,
Yeah.
they can operate and maintain the building the right way, minimize costs, extend the building's life.
So it's not just about a better building. It's
Yeah.
a better process from start to finish.
Exactly. It's all thanks to those interconnected BIM dimensions. Each one adds its own layer of information.
It's like going from a flat blueprint to a multi-sensory, living, breathing building.
I like that. BIM really brings it to life in a way that old drawings just couldn't.
This has been amazing. We've gone from the basics of these dimensions to real-world examples. And I feel like I finally understand how this technology is changing things.
I'm glad to hear that. And honestly, this is just the start. As technology keeps evolving,
Yeah.
we're going to see even more innovative ways to use these BIM dimensions.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah.
But for now, our deep dive into BIM dimensions is done.
Thanks for joining us.
It was great. Huge thanks to our expert for all the insights.
Happy to share. I love talking BIM.
We'll be back next Friday at 8 p.m. Melbourne time. Another deep dive into something cool.
Until then, keep learning, keep building, and keep innovating.
Thanks for listening. This podcast series is designed by Ehsan Mokhtari and powered by AI.